WDUN.
Welcome back to Game On, everyone. I hope you're having an enjoyable Thursday evening, that you're staying out of this cold that's going on this week in North Georgia, that you're someplace nice, maybe in front of a fire, listening to us on WDUN.com or via our new app, Access WDUN. If you don't have it, go get it. You can find it in the iTunes store. You can find it in the Droid Market. Is that what they call the thing for the Droid phones? I don't know what they call it. Do you know, Brian?
That sounds as close as I would have guessed.
Right, right, like the Droid Market or whatever, wherever you buy apps on your Droid phone. Go get Access WDUN, tune in to us, and jump into the activity stream. You can interact with on-air hosts in real time via the activity stream. We promise to write you back. So a special guest in studio with me this evening. I'm very, very excited that Seth Vining is taking some time out of his busy, retired schedule to join us in the WDUN studios. For those of you new to this area who might not know who Seth Vining is, let me remind you. And for those of you who do know, it bears repeating, doesn't it, folks? Former coach at Lakeview Academy, earned wins number 600, 700 during his 38-year tenure, and coached game 1,000 while at Lakeview. A winner of 15 Lanierland championships, 11 region titles, taken 25 teams to the state tournament. 10 times his team reached the Final Four, 3 times finished state runner-up, 4 times won state championships. Also the former coach at East Hall High School. He's been named Coach of the Year. He's been named Region Coach of the Year. He's a Northeast Georgia Hall of Famer and was the GACA Region Coach of the Year in 2008. 8A Coach of the Year in 2009, 2010, and 2012. That's quite a resume, Coach Vining. I'm out of breath. You want to just take over from here?
Well, don't forget about my my time at Johnson and Gainesville College.
Oh, he brought it. Right. Former coach at Johnson and Gainesville College as well. It's great to have you in studio. I miss getting to see you because you're not the face of a program anymore. I do still consider you, though, the face of basketball, at least in North Georgia, and I know some would consider you the face of basketball in the state of Georgia. Being retired, do you miss what's going on right now? Do you miss the competition night in and night out and practicing every day?
So far, I haven't. I really haven't.
Yeah.
I have, had an itching to go into the gym every now and then.
Yeah.
And I've done that a few times. I've actually seen a couple of middle school games.
Oh, wow.
I look for the opportunity to pick a game to go to, and I'll continue to do that. I'm looking forward to this weekend because I think there's going to be some good games Saturday.
Hey, I couldn't agree with you more. We're going to preview Lanierland coming up. I want to ask you a very important question. It's very important. Are you ready? Have you begun getting on Miss Kathy's nerves yet?
No, we seem to get along pretty well together. If I was getting on her nerves, I'd probably be looking for a job somewhere.
Well, if Miss Kathy Vining is out there listening, you can call in and tell us the truth. 770-535-2911. There is a special event coming up that's going on at Lakeview Academy at the end of this month, and we're going to talk with Coach Vining about that later on. We're going to have him on for the rest of the show here on this Thursday edition of Game On. But let's talk a little Lanierland basketball. I believe this to be, where parity is concerned, has the potential of being one of the best tournaments we've had in the last few years. What's your take on the overall field this year?
You're probably right. There's not a dominant team that everybody's thinking on either side, boys or girls, that they're definitely a team everybody's got to shoot for. I think there's a lot of teams that have the chance to put a couple good games together, and there's a couple good teams that have had good starts, but everybody I think has lost just about. I mean, there's no undefeated teams in the field, and it'll be interesting to see what happens.
It was always such a treat to watch the first couple of rounds of Lanierland when you were coaching at Lakeview, because that was really the only chance Lakeview had to play Hall County teams. And inevitably, your team would upset a North Hall, an East Hall, or somebody in the first round. And everybody really got a taste of the kind of coach you still were and the kind of product you were still putting out on the floor. With under Todd Cottrell, the transfer from Gainesville to Lakeview, first-year head coach at Lakeview, how do you see these Lions faring this year?
Well, Todd's doing a great job. I was at the game Tuesday when they beat Commerce. Exciting job. And based on the fact that we had 10 seniors last year, and he lost probably his 2 best players to injuries that they're gone for the season.
Oh, man, yeah.
The fact that he's playing 5 freshmen a lot and 13 to 14 players every game, and he's getting the kind of effort he's getting out of them. You know, I'm really excited about what he's doing, and really excited about the future, because I really feel like they're going to be a team to deal with down the road. And so I hope that they'll be ready for Gainesville. Gainesville's kind of the unknown right now, particularly with the football players probably haven't played a game yet.
Yeah.
This will be their first. Well, they'll probably play Friday night against Cedar Shows, but then Lakeview have to play on Saturday, which that could maybe work in Lakeview's favor, because they got to go to Cedar Shows, I think, Friday night. So that'd be a tough task for them.
Benji Wood, the new coach at Gainesville, he coming from North Hall. North Hall has struggled early, at least the boys have, but have come into their own the last week or so. And so I just really believe on the boys' side, on the girls' side too, this Lanierland tournament going to be one of parity, one of a lot of good competition. What stands out to you about basketball in this area now that maybe wasn't present in what I would consider basketball's heyday in this area in the 90s?
Well, yeah, that's a tough question. One thing I think that's really, changed over a course of time, and it's probably farther back in the 90s, I think the coaching that we have in the county is excellent. Mm-hmm. I think every school's got really quality coaches leading their programs, and that makes it, difficult, because every night you got to be ready to play, because the team you're playing is going to be prepared. But basketball's been, ever since I've been in Hall County, which is the late 70s, mm-hmm. Basketball's always been pretty good, and it still is. Basketball
has always been good around here. There's been a shift the last decade or so, I think, to the focal point being on football, because football's gotten so much better. But basketball has always just been so good in this area. And you've really started this movement that we're seeing so many teams go to now. Benji Wood utilizes it. Todd Cottrell utilizes it. And your understudy at East Hall, Joe Dix, utilizes it probably better than anybody I've seen. And that's sort of this 5-in, 5-out mentality, a platoon mentality. How did you get to playing that style, to coaching that style of basketball, and how happy does it make you to see other teams utilizing it now?
Well, I'm glad that people think it's the way to play, because it's a lot of fun. It makes it harder to because everybody does it now.
Yeah.
But when we started doing it, we had like a 4-year span where we lost to the state champion. And in each one of those losses, we were ahead in the second half, mm-hmm. and the other team's best player kind of took over, or best players.
Right.
And usually they were like 6'8", or were in that category, and we didn't have any 6'8s. So we just tried to change the game a little bit, where we would press all the time and push the ball up the floor and make the game faster than they wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Force the other team to use their subs, and develop our players to play that way. And over the course of the year, by the time you get to state tournament, if you play that way all year, you've got 12 to 14 players that are used to playing a lot, and they're ready to go. And it gives you an advantage, I think, when somebody else has to all of a sudden go to their bench and they aren't used to doing it. So that's why we did it.
Does it help in fourth quarter situations when players are tired? Does platooning like that keep that fatigue from really coming into play?
Well, I think as long as your players don't get too fatigued, mm-hmm. I think one thing you have to do is not get to the point where you're so tired you can't recover, and that's where I think the substitution comes into play.
Yeah.
If you keep your kids fresh throughout the course of the year or the course of the game, then more likely they're not going to reach that point in the game where they start cramping and they just can't go any longer. So I think that's the reason you have to play people.
Because you coached boys basketball in this area, obviously you had to sit through many a girls basketball game as well. What has changed about the girls game in this area since you started coaching the girls at East Hall in the late 70s and early 80s? Coached them to 2 state titles, in fact, back-to-back state titles. What's changed about the girls game from that time to now?
Well, I think the biggest thing is the players are just so much better. I think the combination of using our smaller ball and the three-point line, mm-hmm. And the fact that, women's athletics during that course of time has made a lot of improvement in opportunity.
Yeah.
So girls basketball now, and there's good coaches in girls. But at one point, the girls basketball coach was probably some other coach on staff that just that didn't really want to coach basketball. But the principal said, "Well, you know what? You're going to coach the girls this year."
Yeah, we appreciate that.
At one point, that was kind of the way it used to be.
Right.
But now you look at all your coaches, your girls basketball coaches. They're primarily a girls basketball coach, and they might coach something else, but most of them, their concentration is girls basketball, and just for that reason itself. There's a lot of emphasis in it, and the players are better.
Really quickly, I'm not going to tell you to give a one-word answer because I don't think that you can to this, but which gender did you like coaching more? And I want you to look really deeply into the eyes of the person asking you this question. Which gender did you like coaching more?
Let me say this. I always felt like I coached the girls like I would coach the boys.
See, I appreciate that answer.
And my girls that played for me will probably say that I was a lot worse, harder on them than I am the boys. But I expected great things out of my girls. And the main difference of coaching the two is the boys play above the rim. Mm-hmm. And that's something girls just can't do yet.
No. You're absolutely right about that.
But as far as just giving great effort, doing what you want to do, being coachable, I think players of either gender will do what you ask them to do if they understand the expectations.
Yes, we should get Brenda Hill or Sylvia Akers on the line and see what they have to say about Coach Seth Vining, but we're not going to do that. What we are going to do is take a short break. When we come back, we're going to tell you about a benefit fundraiser happening at Lakeview Academy that's being put on by Seth Vining and some of his friends. It's called Hoops for Daniel. Folks, you don't want to miss this segment. Trust me. If you haven't heard anything else, you do not want to miss this segment. Come back and join us. This is Game On. Who do wonderful things for Game On, and one of those is Play It Again Sports, and we want to give away a $25 gift card to Play It Again Sports now. 770-535-2911, the number to call. We're looking for caller number 5. This is a gift you can re-gift, folks. I'm not going to take any offense if you do it, or you can go get something special at Play It Again Sports on Dawsonville Highway, located between the Home Depot and the Olive Garden. They have everything you need to live the sporting life. A $25 gift card to the 5th caller into 770-535-2911. While Brian waits to take the call, we're going to continue our conversation with former Lakeview, former East Hall basketball coach Seth Vining. Coach, before we get into the benefit fundraiser happening for Daniel Olvera, I want you to tell our listeners about this young man and why a benefit fundraiser needs to happen at all.
Okay. Well, Daniel's a great young man. He played his junior and senior year at Lakeview. He participated in all our camps, all our youth things, went to the boys' club and did camps there. After Lakeview, he went to Covenant, played a year there, and then transferred to Lander. And then last summer when he came home, he had an infection on his toe and went to the doctor, and they found out he had leukemia. And actually, he went to Northeast Georgia for about 2 days, and they sent him right to Emory. And he's been going through treatment ever since then. That was back in June. So it's just a tough situation for him and his family. And for the main reason that we want to do something is not necessarily much the fundraiser, but also just to let Daniel know we've got a lot of people that are in his corner. We're supporting him. And because of his love for basketball, this is one way we thought we could connect basketball and fundraiser together, and we're very appreciative to Lakeview Academy for allowing us to use their facility. And let me just say, Lakeview's a great school, great community, and they're very sensitive about the needs of their community.
Right.
And that's one reason why I want to make sure that they're letting us use their facility, but they're not really sponsoring this event, but they're helping us in every way they can. And we really appreciate Dr. Kennedy doing that for us and helping us.
The event Coach Vining alluding to is called Hoops for Daniel, and it's happening Sunday, December 29th at Lakeview Academy. Coach, if you will, tell our listening audience, first of all, before we get into how they can get into this event. Let's talk about the event as a whole. What's going on December 29th at Lakeview?
Well, basically we've got two areas that we're trying to, or two groups we're trying to address. One is the youth. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a youth clinic for the first 2 hours, and we're going to have guest coaches that are going to conduct 20-minute sessions. So they'll get the instruction from from 5 different coaches. Mm-hmm. That's part of the event. And then the last part is a 3-on-3 tournament. And basically our idea came from the fact that, because Daniel's away at school and a lot of his friends are, we were thinking, well, when the kids come home for the holidays, let's give them something to do. And so our 3-on-3 tournament is really, we're trying to target mainly young adults, right, who may be home for Christmas or maybe just finished college but still enjoy basketball. So our 3-on-3 tournament is basically designed with that in mind, and we're hoping to have men's and women's, young adults, get their teams together. We would like to have kind of a little mini Lanierland atmosphere. Yeah. Where teams from different parts of the county will get together. And we're going to have a little 3-on-3 tournament. And then after that's over, Buffalo Wild Wings is going to allow us to use their facility for kind of a refreshments and food gathering. And they're going to donate 10% of all the proceeds to go towards the fund also. So it'll be a full day, but it should be a fun day. It should give people a chance to just see some friends they hadn't seen for a while and just have a good time.
And all for a good cause. Buffalo Wild Wings, another great partner of ours at Game On, and what a wonderful thing they're doing after this event on December 29th. And the youth clinic takes place, folks. If you're listening, if you got a pen in your paper, if you've got a pad in your hand, write it down, put it into your smartphone. The youth clinic happening December 29th from 1 to 3 p.m. It's grades 3 through 6 at Lakeview Academy. The 3-on-3 tournament happening from 3 to 7, Sunday, December 29th. It's male and female. You just have to get 2 more people to play with you, and you can enter into the 3-on-3 tournament. That, again, happening at Lakeview Academy. And then when the 7 o'clock hour strikes, everybody heads over to Buffalo Wild Wings. 10% of food sales will go to help Daniel Olvera's family pay medical expenses or anything else that they may need. Coach, explain how people can enter into this, how they can enter a team in the 3-on-3 tournament, how they can get a child that they have into this youth clinic.
Well, basically, we have forums at all the park and rec facilities in the county, so they could pick one up there. They could go to Facebook page, Hoops for Daniel. The forums are on that Facebook page. They could call me if they need some forms. My number is 770-536-8663. Or they can just show up the day of the event. I mean, there's not going to be a cutoff point. But the more we have ahead of time, the easier it'll be for us to prepare. But we don't want people to come because they haven't signed up. So we just want you to get your teams together, get your youth together, and let's have a great day of basketball.
And while there's no set fee to go to the youth clinic, there's no set fee to enter the 3-on-3 tournament, you are encouraging people to donate money. Am I right about that?
That's right. And we're basically asking people to consider giving a $20 donation. Everybody that participates, whether you're in the youth clinic or the 3-on-3 tournament. And all the funds, basically, we're trying to not have any expense in this event, so all the funds get to go to Daniel and his family.
That's just a wonderful thing. And if you're unable, folks, to participate, and let me say this, let me add to what Coach Vining is saying. We're going to put the form up on my Facebook page, the show's Facebook page, Game On with Katie B. Davis. We're going to keep it up there. We're going to tweet it out every day so that you can see it and get as involved as you can possibly get. I'm getting involved. Jacobs Media is sponsoring a team to play in the 3-on-3 tournament, and I'm one of the 3. Now, I think you should come to Lakeview just to see that. Don't you think that, Coach Vining?
Well, I have to know who your teammates are.
Oh, I shall not reveal that until December 29th. But I think we're going to take everybody. I think we should make it co-ed and just my team of girls will win.
Well, if that's a challenge, I'm sure we can arrange one more game for the the female champion to play the male champion.
I think we should make it happen. But seriously, folks, back to being serious. We're going to make sure that you have this information available to you so that it is not difficult to get involved in Hoops for Daniel. If you're unable to participate, though, but wish to help Daniel, you can send your donation to Daniel Olvera, and we are going to put his address on our Facebook page as well. It's a worthy cause. Wouldn't you agree with that, Coach, that this is a worthy cause? Tell us a little bit more. We got about a minute left. A very brief synopsis of the type of young man Daniel is.
Daniel's just, never sees a stranger. Nursing is the field that he's studying to go into. He's just a great kid, great teammate, great classmate, and someone that, when you've been around him, you really like him. So he's just a great young man. And I appreciate what you said about, the good thoughts and the things and letting him know that people in the community are behind him, because sometimes when you're dealing with an illness, you just need your spirits lifted, don't you? You just need to know that somebody's behind you, fighting with you. And so, folks, we want Daniel to know we're all behind him, fighting with him. And I know that you feel that way if you're our listening audience as well. Coach Seth Vining, thank you so much. You're welcome back on this show anytime. Will you come? Sure.
I would love to have you. Coach Seth Vining, folks, what a wonderful man. What a wonderful ambassador for Lakeview, East Hall, and this community we have in Coach Seth Vining. It's been fun, as it is every Thursday. We'll be back Monday because we've got state championship football tomorrow at 5:30 on WDUN. Go Buford Wolves, right? Game on.
She's just a girl, but she's on fire.